The moment you ask a direct question, the human brain constructs a wall. Questions activate suspicion, trigger defensiveness, and birth calculated lies. Master interrogators never ask, they elicit. When you learn to bypass conscious filters, people will hand you the raw, unfiltered truth voluntarily and thank you for the conversation. Today, you learn how to unlock any vault. Human vanity is intensely predictable. People hate being wrong, but they despise seeing someone else state a blatant error even more. When you ask a direct question like, "Where were you last night?" you trigger immediate cognitive defenses and raise their suspicion levels. To bypass this entirely, state a calculated, confident falsehood. "I heard you were out at that upscale lounge across town yesterday." Their ego will instantly override their caution. The instinct to prove you wrong dominates their survival brain. In their overwhelming rush to correct your statement and feel superior, they will blurt out the exact raw truth. "No, I was actually at home working until midnight," completely unaware that they were baited into confessing. By giving them a wrong answer to fix, you exploit their pride, converting their need for working, intellectual dominance into your ultimate truth extraction weapon. When individuals conceal crucial information, they maintain a rigid defense against predictable lines of questioning. To shatter this tactical barrier instantly, make a bold, slightly exaggerated assumption that directly threatens their competence, authority, or personal integrity. Stating something like, "You clearly lacked the strategic skill to handle that high-stakes client deal on your own," creates an immediate, unbearable spike in psychological friction. Their ego instantly recoils. To disprove your deliberate insult, their subconscious forces them to reveal classified, highly granular details about how they actually executed the entire operation, step by step. You aren't forcing them to speak. You are making the truth their only available shield of self-defense. By attacking them with a deliberate false premise, you compel them to hand over valuable operational secrets just to preserve their fragile self-image. People will lie tirelessly to preserve their own moral image, but they will readily discuss dark, improper behavior when the spotlight is turned away from them. Frame sensitive or probing inquiries around a purely hypothetical third party. Why do you think most executives secretly manipulate their financial reports? By completely removing direct personal accusation, you deactivate their neural threat response. Because they feel safe, their conscious guard drops. They will naturally project their personal morals, rationalizations, inner motives, and hidden tactics onto this fictional scenario. They believe they are simply offering an objective opinion on human behavior, but in reality, they are giving you an unedited blueprint of their own psychological operating system. Use third-party framing to let people expose their deepest secrets while convincing themselves they are merely engaging in abstract conversation. Guilt produces extreme psychological friction, and friction enforces absolute silence. If a target senses that revealing the truth will bring judgment, condemnation, or severe consequences, they will defend a lie to the end. To extract a full confession without resistance, you must weaponize sympathetic normalization. Frame the offense as completely understandable, logical, or even expected under those specific circumstances. Honestly, anyone pushed into that situation would have taken that shortcut. The entire corporate system is rigged anyway. By validating the transgression beforehand, you eliminate their fear of social backlash. You create a psychological safe haven where admitting guilt feels like a relief rather than a risk. Once the threat barrier collapses, their defensive walls crumble, baiting them to drop their mask and freely confess their actions to someone who appears to understand them. The average human brain is deeply uncomfortable with uninterrupted, heavy silence. It triggers evolutionary feelings of social isolation and intense psychological anxiety. When someone gives you a suspicious, evasive, or half-true answer, your greatest strategic weapon is absolute stillness. Do not interrupt, do not challenge their statement, and do not ask a follow-up question. Maintain unwavering, unblinking eye contact, lean back comfortably, and remain entirely mute. As the silence stretches past 3 seconds, their internal psychological tension reaches a breaking point. The human brain craves social harmony and resolution. In a conversational vacuum, panic rapidly takes over. To kill the unbearable awkwardness and desperately gauge whether you believe their lie, their brain forces them to keep talking. They will compulsively begin over-explaining, adding unnecessary granular details, modifying their initial narrative, and tripping over their own manufactured logic. Eventually, the structural integrity of their lie completely breaks down under the weight of unresolved tension. They inevitably spill the precise, raw facts they were trying to conceal. Silence is never passive. When executed with ruthless composure, it becomes an invisible psychological vice that crushes deception. Truth requires zero cognitive exertion because memory retrieval is an automatic, fluid process. Deception, however, demands massive computational energy. The brain must simultaneously suppress reality, invent a plausible narrative, project fake confidence, and continuously monitor the listener's reactions for suspicion. While executing advanced elicitation tactics, you must maintain a ruthless, continuous, micro-friction audit to catch the exact moment their neural operating system overloads. Watch for subtle glitches in their established baseline behavior, split-second delay before responding, an abrupt elevation in vocal pitch, unnatural hand stillness, or overcompensated rigid eye contact designed to fake honesty. When a person fabricates reality, their sympathetic nervous system fires involuntary micro-signals, such as rapid blinking rates, brief throat tightness, micro-flushes on the neck, or sudden changes in breathing depth. These physical glitches are the undeniable proof of a mind struggling under extreme cognitive strain. You are not looking for a single dramatic sign. You are identifying the sudden deviation from their relaxed, non-verbal baseline. Once you detect a micro-friction glitch during a conversation, do not confront them aggressively. Instead, quietly register the exact topic that triggered the spike in stress and systematically pivot back to that weak point. By applying gentle, persistent pressure on those cognitive fault lines, the entire facade breaks apart, exposing the unfiltered truth.